Big changes are happening to houses in this week's New England Dream House. We'll show you how a modular home is put together piece by piece.
Voila! Instant house.
A house goes from this to this in just 5 days. You won't want to miss this week's before and after project. This week's before and after project is not for the faint of heart. A Massachusetts family didn't like their house, so they tore it down and replaced it with a modular home. Everything is quiet and serene at this beautiful home, but it took a lot of work to make it this way. This is the house that sat on the land 1 year ago. As you can see, it was fine, but homeowner Jason Lee says it was dated and just too small for his family of 4.
We didn't like the size of the bedrooms, the master bathroom, things that we've come to appreciate in the homes that we lived in the past.
He and his wife Christy looked into renovating the house.
By the time we started looking at the renovation cost, we decided I think it'd be a lot more cost effective, and in the future if we decide to resell after living here with the kids for some time, we'll get greater impact, greater return with a newer house.
They decided to take the old house down to the ground and build a modular home on the land. Before the big day, the owners threw what they called a demolition party for their young daughters and their friends.
We had about 35 young kids running around the house with plaster, paint, crayons, markers, and they just went crazy.
Demolition day was bittersweet, even though the Lees weren't emotionally attached to the home.
Just watching the house come down today, we really haven't spent any time in the house, but it was one of those buyer's remorse. We're thinking, should we really have knocked down the house, or we should just possibly renovate it?
It's just too late as roof, walls, and windows come crashing down. Bit by bit, the shape of the old house disappears. By the end of the day, it's reduced to a pile of rubble. Now trucks have brought the pieces of the Lee's 5,000 square foot home to the site. They've ordered their modular home from Pennsylvania-based Heritage Modular.
We went modular, not so much for the money savings. We went for time savings.
The chunks are called boxes. Each weighs between 24 and 30,000 pounds. They're between 12 and 16 feet wide, 10 to 64 feet long.
Today we're setting the house. All, I believe, 7, 8 pieces arrived last week, and we're now assembling the house as if it were a giant puzzle, piece by piece.
Sean Sweeney from Heritage Modular is glad the boxes arrived safe and sound. He says they're engineered to withstand the stress of the trip from Pennsylvania.
Our goal today is to hopefully get the entire house set on the foundation, have the roofs on place, and have the house watertight by the end of the day.
Giant cranes put the pieces together amazingly fast.
In essence, it's like building with Legos. You have different pieces that you try to fit together to make the house right.
Each box is about 85% complete on the inside when they're put together.
As we're setting it today, I'm looking at going, hey, there's the fireplace, and there are the cabinets.
Safety is paramount as the crane lines each box up and gently sets it down.
It's a very heavy box, not only from the fact worrying about it being dropped, but as far as it swinging through the air.
Care is taken to make sure the boxes are bolted tight, walls are plumb, and floors are level. More time will be spent doing finish work.
By tomorrow afternoon, they'll be able to walk through their brand new home.
Jason says he has goosebumps watching the process.
It's an unbelievable experience where you're just shocked at how fast the house went up.
5 days later, the house is together, but there's still lots of work to do.
Today, they're actually putting shingles on. And on the inside, they have the cabinets up, the lights in, rough plumbing. So we have 85% of the house done in less than a week.
You can already see the layout of the kitchen. The cabinets look great. It still takes a ladder to go up to the second floor, but the master bathroom already has a tub. It will take at least 4 months to get all of the interior and exterior details just right. The house is finally finished and the Lees are all moved in. You'd never know the house was once in pieces on the ground. Jason is enjoying how roomy the house is.
It's double in size. It's a little bigger and wider. And I think all the amenities that we are looking for in a house is available in the new home.
He says all the design homework they did before the house was built really paid off.
The planning is up front.
You know exactly what you're doing and you know exactly what you're getting.
They designed the kitchen for entertaining.
We have all the stainless steel appliances, but more importantly, we have a large island where people can congregate.
Although his daughters can't draw on the walls of their new home, they have this fun space to get creative.
The kids can go off into their craft room to do their thing without having to hear me nagging at them to get something cleaned up or do something. So we all have our own little space, private space.
You don't need a ladder to get to the second floor anymore. The master bath is the parental retreat the Lees imagined. When looking back, Jason thinks tearing down the old home and building a new modular one was the right decision for his family.
There was no way that we could have possibly lived in the house for more than, let's say, 4 or 5 years, because we're somewhat limited in space. For my kids, I want them to associate our house with their childhood and always wanting to come back.
We want to thank our videographer Abbas Sadek and editor Lauren Klesiak for their work on that story. And the phone number for Heritage Modular is 781-455-6668. Their website is heritagemodular.com.